Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Tuesday to you all. Welcome back. Hope you guys had a good week and weekend. It's the weekend, or was the weekend. My weekend was all right. It was a bit relaxing. One thing, however, was just the preparation of my wife's procedure that happened yesterday. So, Molly had a procedure yesterday. She was getting stuff done. So, just a longer recovery for this one. I'm not gonna go into details as to what exactly it was or what it pertains, but she went through that. So we're just dealing with that now. So hopefully you guys had a good weekend. Like I said, a little cool for us, wasn't terrible. It was nice compared to the colder weather we dealt with last week. So I'm happy for that. This week, however, it's gonna be like, it's been a high of like the 70s, mid 70s. So think of everything being cool and cold, like say mid 40s, 50s, early low 50s, and then it racking up to like 75, but not like 75 at 8 in the morning. This is 75 at like 3 in the afternoon. That's how it is. So more heaven jumping tonight. Yeah, we are. How you doing, Terry? The knee leg is doing all right. It's actually it's actually healed a lot better than I had thought or anticipated it was going to. I don't know if I want to share photos with you guys, but let me see if I can share some photos here. Something not too crazy here. Let's see. So I don't know if you guys want to see what it looked like when I first here. Let me just download all these pictures. You guys are gonna be like, oh my god, no, don't do that. So the last few pictures is a week and a day later from when it happened. Yo, Jolin, how's it going, man? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, buddy. Hope you had a good weekend, man. I'm downloading the pictures of my my wound, my knee. Yeah, got down to 614 my house earlier. The last 1 or 3 days had almost gone to full heat mode. I know we had to ourselves over the weekend. It got cold enough at night where it was like the temperatures were dropping down to like the 60s Fahrenheit. So it was like, whoa, this isn't this isn't gonna be good for the kids downstairs. So we had to turn on the heat for them just to make sure everything was good. Okay, do you guys, I don't know if you guys want to see it yet, but I have pictures of my knee. It looked like a faux pas. You mean like as a rice vermicelli dish? That's what it looked like. A rice vermicelli noodle dish. That's like a broth. That's like a red curry broth with that. I'm adding stuff to my water right now. So I do like you guys hear Crystal Light and whatnot. There's this one called PK. It does like hydration and energy. Zero sugar, you know, there's a whole bunch of those that are coming out doing this. And I get this. Oh, my wife Molly gets it and I get it sometimes here and there, but we do it just to kind of help with hydration, like just being able to drink more water. Water can get boring at times, that's for sure. Definitely can get boring, so adding something to it, I don't think is a problem, especially when it's zero sugar. It's just helping, it's a flavor enhancer. I'd rather do this than, you know, than pop, you know, where there's like sugars everywhere. I don't drink pop often, you guys know that. So having this kind of helps. The funny thing is, I wouldn't say that like, oh, one packet would have been good for me as a kid, but I don't know if I've gotten older and just flavors have gotten a little more extreme. I wouldn't say extreme, but I'd say just it's weird. Like I'll go and I'll get drinks, like Molly will go and grab some Caribou coffee, or she'll grab Starbucks, She'll ask me if I want anything, and I'll say, yeah, I'll get this. But I don't normally do coffee. I do like refreshers or like anything that is berry flavored, water flavored, like water flavored or flavored water. But I don't do like the full sweetness. So if, for instance, if we go to like a bubble tea place, I will add 50% sugar. I won't do a full 100% sugar. It's still sweet for me, and that also helps reduce just the amount of carb intake that I'm taking. It's not like a mindset of like, oh, that's what I want to do. It's just for me, I don't need it that sweet, which is why I do these. I split the packet into two, and it's fine because it's still flavorful. It's not like I need it to mask the water. I know it's water. I just want some flavor to it. Yo, Smooth Master Moon, how's it going? Happy Tuesday to you. Dang, how have you been? I still can't believe I bowled 5 games yesterday. Terry, you bowled 5 games yesterday? Dude, your forearm must be hurting. The 4 all at once since the other folks were tired. Came home and realized I was tired too as I passed out from 5 to 10. Dude, bowling, like you don't really think about it, but bowling or any kind of sport that you're doing that just causes motion and movement is a workout, hands down. Like bowling a 10-pound bowling ball down the lanes for, and if you play a whole game with friends or people, it's like an hour at least. So you're sitting there swinging the ball around for an hour. Granted, you're not doing it continuously for an hour, but you're swinging the ball for an hour. You don't normally swing a ball for even 10 minutes, let alone an hour every day. So doing that for 5 straight games or 5 games in total, dude, that's awesome. Fucking hydrate. I'd say I've always enjoyed drinking plain water, and more so when it's fresh, pure, clean water, hands down, great. Cool, crisp water after like a long day of being out, sweating, working out, playing sports, whatever. Having a nice, cool, like cup of ice cold water, great. Now, when I'm at home and I'm just trying to hydrate, I do have to go with the water. Like, I can do normal water, but you know, I'm like, if I can enhance it and flavor it, I can drink 2 of these in a matter of seconds compared to drinking 1 of them in a matter of minutes. I'm good, my dude. Good to see you. Same here. Thanks. 5 pin. And yes, I was shocked I didn't make my back messed up. Oh, so it's 5 pin bowling, so not 10 pin. Not a full 10, but still, you're throwing a bowling ball down the lane and trying to accurately hit pins. I mean, that takes work. You're not just randomly throwing things. I mean, my kids randomly throw them down and then they use bumpers and they still hit them. But we're adults. We don't use bumpers. We use actual, you know, we actually bowl. Ah, crud. Did I forget my hair tie? I did forget my hair tie. I don't want to go. Do I have a you know, it's funny that you say that. So, long story short, unless you guys want the long story, I am able to wow, I can see my bald head there. Just feel a second. Some delays over there over at the beam stream. I am able to taste different flavors in water, or I'm able to taste like the water flavors being different in every type of bottled water. So, for example, if you give me Aquafina and Dasani, those taste like normal tap water. There's really nothing special about them. The ones like Ice Mountain that have minerals in there, I can taste the difference. I can taste that flavor of minerals. Not my kind of thing when it comes to drinking water. I don't know if that's their way of like enhancing the flavor of water, but I don't mind having minerals in my water. I do enjoy just drinking water like without minerals, but if I had to, I'm okay with it. So at first I used to drink just Dasani, or enjoy drinking Dasani, but then I realized it's just normal like tap water, tastes like that. And then drinking Ice Mountain, not so much that I enjoy the minerals in that, but I was okay with it. Was it Ice Mountain or was it a different one? I forget which one it was, but it gives you like that strong, like mineral like flavor to it, and it's just like, it's like, here you go. I was like, but I wanted salt water, and then they just poured you know, salt into the water and told you to shake it up. So when it comes to bottled water, I can't say I have like a real defined answer. It's gonna sound so bougie and it's gonna sound bad, but I'd say I have had Fiji water. I've had Voss water. That water, it actually tastes clean, it tastes healthy. But there's that special on Netflix that Zac Efron held, and it's about the world eating healthy, all the stuff, and using resources. And they're talking how the best water is actually like really hard mineral. No, okay, not hard mineral, but like hard water where it's got minerals all in it, and it's just like you can taste it. And I guess that's what's considered healthy, flavorful, good water. Now, I can't say that I would prefer that, and I've never tasted it before, but I can only imagine how thick that is from their descriptions of that show. Yo, how's it going, Foxy? About time. What do you mean? I just got on. Still a heavy ball. I scored a 4-person solo game at a 103 and 104 score. Lowest was about 83 out of the 4. Dude, that's actually pretty good for 5 pins only. How do they score? Do they score like 5 and spare, or like 5 as a strike, so that's like 10 points or 20 points? It helps when you don't smoke, do heavy drugs. Smoke, drink, do heavy drugs with their taste buds. Unless you take a med that affects your taste buds. I am a pretty clean guy when it comes to like taking over-the-counter drugs, prescription medicine, and all the other drinking, smoking, and all that stuff. I don't do it often, and I do it far and few in between, so it doesn't really affect me. However, I will say that with my knee healing the way it has after a whole week, even Molly was like, holy crap, your knee has healed very well. And I'm like, she's jealous and envious, you could say. I wouldn't call that specifically, but she could describe what she feels. In a way, it's like that, you know, like holy cow, like you can do that. But she's been going through a lot of things, and her health and healing obviously takes a little bit longer. So for my knee to recover, I'm just happy that I haven't been, you know, I've been healthy enough where I'm not taking medicine to have to deal with certain conditions that I have, and I'm trying to do better overall to just be able to handle certain situations of my health without the need of medication. Foxy, you know, if I could stream for 24 hours and be on all the time, I would. I'm obsessed with Liquid Death. Fiji is my number 2. Liquid Death. I tried that. I like the whole concept that it's in a can and it looks cool. I don't know if I could say that the water would pull me into actually drinking it more. I think Liquid Death, I wouldn't say it tastes like any other water, but it doesn't pull me in like I would say, oh, like Fiji or Voss. Like Fiji, you can taste that freshness, and with Liquid Death, I don't know if I can. I'm not saying that it's not good, I just don't know if I can. I mean, I've only had it once too. I would have to drink it again, especially with it being water. There's not really much you can do in comparison other than the fact that you can really taste the differences or not. So when water tastes like water, you're like, oh well, you know. The one grocery chain makes a nice semi-carbonated water that is like lime, tangerine, mixed better flavors that are really good, and only a touch of stevia in it. Oh, that sounds really good. 75 other pins, 4 points. Oh, okay. Nice. I've never played 5-pin. As I mentioned, the extra calcium and vitamin are enhancers to skin cell reproduction. Liquid Death sounds like water to end your life, not enhance it like beer. Felt. Yeah, it's not, it's newer, I'd say. All right, Terry, you asked how my knee was. I'm gonna show you guys what it looked like at first, okay? And if you're squeamish, I apologize. Here we go. There's gonna be blood, so if you can't deal with squeamish or wounds, don't look. All right. The idea is that it murders your thirst. It doesn't quench it, it murders me. It slays. It's killing. That's what it's doing to you. They should do some commercials like that. Oh my god, what's that water doing to you? It is killing me, man. Like literally choking on water, but no, not really. But ad wise, yes. Okay, here we go. Do they? Well, I guess I should watch it before I even say anything. All right, so this is the pictures that were taken the day of. So this was a week ago on Saturday. All right. Let's see the injuries. Okay. All right. That was me scraping my knee on the concrete. First picture, second picture, that looks just bright. All right. So the primary injury is right here, and I'm still feeling it, and I'm also noticing like looking at it now, I'm noticing the deep hole after it's trying to heal itself. So scraped it. I definitely injured the right side here. This is my right knee, so I hit the ground right here in this area, and then I bruised this whole section, like behind my leg. It's lightly bruised because of the collision, and the knee obviously scraped here, and then like gouged my skin there. Looks like Kool-Aid for a vampire. You know, if you spit on it, it's not gonna feel anything because the whole thing is numb. I've been showering every day, pouring water on it. It's that numb. Okay, and if you look at the images as we continue on, you're gonna realize, holy shit, that's a little deep. Okay, so this was hold on, that was the 4th. Wait, let's see here. So these are all off. Oh wow, this is, no, hold on. This is okay, so this is so this happened on the 30th. Sorry. This happened on the 30th of August, right? So this picture was on the 5th. So this is about a week later. Almost a week later. We're going from this mess to, you can see the scratching, you can see the major injury here. Like, you're like, wow, okay. And that's what I said too. I was like, holy crap. So this is what I did. I looked online and I just kind of like briefly read it. I hear that honey does a really good job because it has antibacterial or antibiotic stuff to it. I didn't use honey. What I used was Neosporin the first few days, and then it was straight. It's basically, they're saying online, like, you use Vaseline to help keep it moist and for it to heal itself. So we don't have Vaseline, but we have Aquaphor, which is almost identical. It's basically petroleum jelly in a way. So I used Aquaphor over the wound, and I used a gauze and tape to cover it. I didn't seal it entirely like I did the first few days. I let it kind of breathe and just kind of let the petroleum jelly do the job of keeping it moist. And so everywhere else that didn't need it, it was actually, if you look off of the gauze after peeling it away, most of this wasn't even like messy. This area was basically the primary location of where the healing and all the work is happening. The healing of the skin is happening, however the nerves are still recovering. If I'm touching this area or anywhere around here, definitely this spot, it's still numb. I can feel the pressure, but I can feel the numbness more than I can the pressure. So if you've ever gotten anything numb in the hospital for, like, maybe you're getting your teeth done, that numbness, exactly the same thing. That looks a lot better. Yeah, this was on the 5th, and then I just took one on Sunday, so 2 days ago. So that's that. As you can tell, like, it looks disgusting. I'm sorry, it looks disgusting, but that is like the raw skin that was damaged. That is still, I'm I'm describing this, and if you're all disgusted, then go ahead and plug your ears. But this is the part that the skin that is like still dangling. It's still raw, and it's eventually going to fall away. This is where the scab part comes in. It starts to scab because it's drying up. I've kept it moist and have covered it most of the time just using a gauze. Granted, I'm not covering it entirely. I'm letting it breathe when it can. So that's what I'm doing. And then this was just the other day as I let it dry. This was it drying. So this was 2 days after. I'm not going to go into details, but as you can see here, this is actually where the most damage was done. I'm still recovering with the hole in my knee. So the skin is still trying to rebuild itself and patch up that spot, but everything else has been slowly recovering. So that's a few days later. So there's going to be a mark. I know there is. But that's my knee. That's my knee right now, recovering. So for it being a whole week later, I was actually really impressed on how well the skin has healed, how well it's reduced on the scarring. It's gonna be pink. I know it's gonna be pink because it's fresh new skin on the on the top layer. So it's gonna look different. It's obviously gonna look completely different compared to my left knee, but you know, it's a manly scar, y'all. Super manly. No, not really. Not really. So yeah. So there was that. I'm going back. I'm looking at some things work related, and it just reminded me of what happened on Friday. So I know I don't try to get into politics at all anywhere, because I just know there's going to be a difference between there's going to be differences. People have the right to their own opinions. People have the right to feel the way they do, to express the way they feel. That's the country that we live in. However, I think there's a difference between like speaking freely and then speaking stupidly. And unfortunately, I ran into that when I was working on Friday at work. I actually got into like a little heated debate with one of the people that I work with. I keep doing this and I forget I don't have a hair tie. I need to go get a hair tie. Hang tight. Let me go get a hair tie. I was like, I'm not gonna get one yet, but I'm gonna go get a hair tie. Hang tight. Sorry. I'll be right back, y'all. Oh, the kids are doing their chores, so if you heard the vacuum cleaner going off, that was them. All right. So so yeah. So I ran into that. I thought that I think that, and not, it wasn't that like I was gonna like, I thought that I could like change the person's opinion, but it was more like I wanted him to see from my point of view. And I think the problem was that it wasn't happening. I couldn't talk to the person and have them just understand like, hey, this is what I deal with. And if it's difficult to do that, or difficult for you to put yourself in a situation of being in my shoes, then it was going to be really hard to communicate with him, and he clearly made that clear. It was just hands down like, oh, okay, like if that's how you feel, then that's how you feel, and there's no break away from it. It was like it had to be or it didn't have to be. And he was just like, no, it had to be. That's as deep as I'm gonna get about the conversation with the whole thing. But basically, it was like, where I see things are going with how today's world is, it is terrifying to see that. And then to have somebody that I work with, he doesn't work directly with me, so he's not really a co-worker. We just work on projects at the same time. So for me to express how I feel and how I fear for my children, for the reasons that I explained, and for him to not reciprocate that, it was really frustrating. And I think at that point, that's when I realized there's really no way to talk to this person. At times he called it a conversation, but it wasn't a conversation. It was a lot of like, I explained this, and then it was him going but, and it wasn't a but for a good reason. It was a but like, but that's just how it is, or that's how everybody deals with it. It's like saying, well, you know, guys and girls are exactly the same way. Like, you can't tell me that it's this way and that's the way it is, because that's just how life is. No, you can change that. And I think it was hard for him to understand that. Like, but anyways, now I'm getting a little deeper than I want to. But I dealt with that on Friday, and yeah, that was not fun. I was actually cursing in a patient room that we were working in. I wasn't like screaming at the top of my lungs, but I was pretty miffed with the person that I was talking to. It wasn't talking. It wasn't even talking at all. It was like discussing to a brick wall. Yo, Care, how's it going, man? Happy Tuesday to you. So there's that. I thought 2025 was gonna be a good spot to start over, like to refresh. It is a bit, but at the same time, it I mean, if you compare it to last year, yeah, hands down, a lot better. Anything compared to last year is like 50 times better. Like, you could just be like, You could just be like, oh, how was your year? And I'd be like, so much better. It doesn't even matter what happened. Like, you didn't do anything at all this year. Like, yeah, but it was so much better than last year because you know why? My wife didn't almost die this year. So yeah, it's a lot better. It's a lot better. How's it going? It could be worse. It'd be a lot worse, but so yeah. I don't know. Adding new. All right, what do we got here in regards to